Recently, double AD carry bot lanes are slowly starting to take over the meta. From Ashe to Caitlyn to Kalista, we are seeing more and more possible combinations, with particularly Carrier and Beryl in the SCK really pushing it to the limit. Sometimes working out great, and sometimes maybe not so much. The strength of Umbral and Hail of Blades has been the driving force behind it, and I believe we will probably see further experimentation around these kind of bot lanes in the coming weeks, at least until the support changes hit in patch 13.3. In this video I wanted to look at one of the best performances by this kind of bot lane, which we maybe even surprisingly could see in the LEC last week by Neon and Kaiser from Vitality. I feel like they don't get enough credit for it, especially since they are often considered the weakest part of the team, at least so far, but they played the first 5 waves close to perfect, so let's get into it. First of all, the way this bot lane works is they have double Hail of Blades, which is extremely strong early game, and an enemy bot lane without this setup has no real chance to trade against it favorably, at least at level 1. So the double Hail of Blades bot will play very aggressive and try to get them to low HP and above all make them lose XP. So that's the basic behind it. And then they keep the pressure on and make it very hard to recover from the first levels. So to get an advantage for the level 1 fight, usually the middle bush is contested and warded for early control. And that is why sometimes we even see teams 5-stack towards the bush and fight there just for the control of the area. It's that important for bot lane at level 1. What was really creative by Vitality in this game, and a bit of a deviation from the usual pattern, was the usage of the unwarded tri-bush to get in an even better position to play the lane the way they want to play it anyways. They don't have to worry about minion aggro this way, and it's an even better starting position to zone from XP. We can see the power of this combo, not much counterplay for Lucianami at this point. The only counterplay would be maybe a cheeky level 2 gank by the jungler, but that goes against everything Udyr stands for, of course, so that's not an option. Also would be more of a makeshift solution, lots of counterplay for the other jungler, all depending on a lot of factors obviously. What's also important is to always keep well in line together. Usually as a bot lane when trading you want to form somewhat of a triangle to hit the same target at the same time. That's maybe just some bot lane basics now, but quite relevant here. They do it really well and they are really in sync. And yeah, maybe they could even pop heal or barrier, which would give a couple of more orders and make a dive a stronger possibility to put even more pressure. But yeah, that's probably the only thing to criticize. Barrier has a really low cooldown, so more often than not it is worth to use in this kind of situation. And Kaiser would for sure get at least 2 or 3 more hits while using the shield. So, some XP and CS denied successfully. We can see Lucian at 2 CS right now, and some might ask, why can't Udyr just gank bot lane and help them or something like that? And Yike really can't gank bot at this state. The wave state is terrible for that. His teammates way too low on health, the sums are down. It's really suboptimal. Also, what junglers do with these bot lanes nowadays is they always cover around the crap timing. So a Vi counter gank is to be expected if you tried anything like that. And the 3v3 is impossible to win at this point. So very low probability to do anything successfully there. He could maybe place his ward to protect the dive, but that's it in my opinion. At last we are going to fast forward a bit. The lane is slow pushing now into them, which is exactly what they want. It's at the perfect timing for a bow gank, and it's really in sync with his jungle clear, so Vitality is perfectly fine with that. And now that Udyr is doing Drake, at this point the G2 bot lane makes a bit of a mistake. They feel very safe and position around the top side of their lane, maybe to join Dragon quicker if anything happens, or in general because Udyr is there, so there's less distance between them. but in result are more susceptible to a potential gank, which is a real possibility since with the way the camps are respawning and also taking the clear speed into consideration, this is the expected position for Vi. In the end they play the gank out really well, and Udyr doesn't even get the dragon, so it's quite a little bit of a disaster for G2 at this point. All in all, Vitality can be very happy with this early game against easily the strongest early game team in the league. Great spacing and positioning by Neon and Kai'Sa, using their range advantage quite well, and really showing their knowledge of the matchup here. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and or subscribe, whatever you feel like. See you soon.